topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1. Hella hooked on Web 2. I was living a dream. Now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems. Topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
party.
bit. Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1. Hella hooked on Web 2. I was living a dream. Now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems. Topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend, especially the dads out there. Happy belated Father's Day. I hope you enjoyed the day. I did a lot, actually. I am, not to get all sappy and emotional on the show, but it's cold open and we're still warming things up. So at least it'll be for a less than more if I do get too sappy. But I don't know, man. It hits different. Father's Day hits different as you know, I don't take it for granted the time I have with my daughter. I don't, she doesn't live with me. I don't see her every day. I mean, I get to see her pretty much like once a week or something, but that's fading, right? It was a couple times a week during the cross season. And, this week it's another trip to the dentist office, which isn't the most fun, but just like actually hanging out and just having a chill day, pool day or something like that they're few and far between. And she drove down yesterday and spent the day and, again, didn't do anything, just a fun, chill pool day. And it was just being present and appreciating the fact that she came down. And I know but even just, she's an adult, but getting a card and she got me a bag of peanut M&Ms, like, as one of my candy vices. It's just the fact that she cared enough to do that. I know it may sound simple, but it's on her own, right? It's not like her mother bought her something to give to me. It's like she took time to do something like that. And it, not that I don't appreciate any and all gifts and stuff like that, but it just, it hit different. It was very meaningful and it was grateful for the time with her. Enjoyed the weekend, enjoyed more World Cup action. I didn't have any big shippers over the weekend, but today is loaded. Super pumped for today's slate. It's another this not even just this group. These 8 teams, these 2 groups are just loaded with stars. In particular, we got France, Argentina, and a guy Holland from Norway. Those 3 games are just, again, loaded with stars. And I feel as if France has, I don't know, we'll see. I think they might hang a number today. We will see. But it was good to see. I got a live witness Lamine Yamal's first World Cup goal. It was, actually, you know what? Let me do our proper welcomings and GMs, and then I'll get into a little more World Cup action, everything on today's slate. We got Bitcoin sitting out the risk on party. But hanging out above 64K, we also have, apparently, we're at the end game as far as the Clarity Act goes. Senate says this week. So hopefully one day this week, we're talking about something, coming to fruition there. We also will hit on, I'm going to rip a vibes pack today. Shout out to our guy Zane. And I was able to not only did I score a couple of vibes pack, it put me in full-blown collector mode over the weekend out there trying to find some vibes pack. And I definitely want to talk about that because I had really an aha moment shopping for the vibes pack. So I definitely want to hit on that and my other collectible activity. And then we'll do Dwayne, our guy Dwayne, BT Dwayne. I don't know if you're out there yet, Dwayne, but I saw had a interesting, a different twist. A lot of people out there. Yeah, Dwayne's out there. I'm going to pin, actually, did I pin all of our stuff up top? Yeah. So we're live. Welcome to Coffee with Captain. We're live here every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I'm Cap, co-hostless today, but it's a Monday. Not quite a Friday free for all, but we're going to open mic Mondays, maybe we call it, kind of warm up. Most of our interviews and special guests, we're going to, I think, tip to jam in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. More segments Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Monday, kind of a catch up for the weekend and anything on your mind. What should we be looking forward to this week? Did I miss anything? Did my assistant Claude miss anything in terms of scanning the interwebs for the daily debrief? And then on Fridays, similar but different, kind of a recap. What are we looking forward to over the weekend? And less structured shows Monday and Friday. We'll have our agenda topics and items we'll get through. But if there's anything on your mind, if you want to join the stage, as always, it is an open stage here. It's a community-driven show. Feel free to throw in a request to jump up on stage here and join us. That's X Audio Spaces I'm referencing. That the Spaces link is pinned up top. And then you'll also find up there X Video, the abstract link, as well as YouTube video. GM to all the early GMers out there. Greatly appreciate you. The QR code you see in the top, that'll take you to the Coffee with Captain newsletter. We're nearing the end of the month. So if you're not signed up for that, who knows? We might pull our Coffee with Captain participant from the newsletter this month. So if you've not yet subbed to that, you want to get in before the last Friday of the month. That's when we do our community member of the month. And that is why we do the $50 claw pool every Friday. The last one of the month, we pick a community member of the month, and it's a $250 BZ claw pool where you could win the grill. The chase times on there are several $1,000s. So that said, GM Absolute Zero, Kev driving from New Jersey to Georgia, road trip. Glad to see you tuning in. Safe travels. We got Machiavelli out there rocking the red background. We got Osiris, Black Mage, Aspiring Nobody, Corona, Web3 Warhead, plus everyone in the chat as well. Not to be, Mel I saw was out back. She's got her game back. She's back first in the chat. Dwayne GM, sir, thank you for the co-production this morning. I'm going to talk about Dwayne's. I saw some people. I'm not going to name any names. I'm definitely not going to call out a former co-host of mine. I'm not going to name any names, but I saw some people that were a little disappointed that the last teaser, the last riddle, whatever you want to call it, from the Board Ape Yacht Club account was just the red background. And I think they might have even plugged it in to Claude or whatever their AI of choice is to see if there's anything hidden there, and said, no, it's just plain red background. I don't think it is. I don't think it was just a punt. I don't think there was some, I don't know. I saw at least one person who was frustrated that there was no more riddle. There was no more notes. It was just, their thought maybe just extending the teaser. I think it very much had meaning is my take. And I kind of I don't know if Dwayne is right, but I think there very much was meaning in the red background. We'll find out here soon. I think we're going to find out Thursday. I think the next at the clubhouse, because they started the teasers last Thursday at the clubhouse with the cryptic 1017 on the red background, and then every morning at 10 a.m. we've got another one. Yesterday was just simply a red background, and I don't know if Dwayne's right, but I think there's very much there's some meaning to this red background. And I think that's what they were calling attention to, is because they hadn't had just the plain red background. They'd had other stuff on it. So I think yesterday's hint was, hey, we're telling you something here. And whether it's because it looks like kind of like drywall, looks like drywall before it's finished, where they're saying, hey, this is we're going to bring you to the clubhouse as it's under construction. I think that's very much in range of possibilities. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I know there's a portion of the club who is anxiety is brewing, like they really want to just know when and where because they want to book their travel. It's not me. I'm just wired differently. I mean, it's not a bit like I'll probably book my travel the week before it happens, or I'm going to crash on Dort's couch or Joey's, one of the two of them. I may just be sleeping over, but I'm glad, I'm enjoying, I'm having fun with it, as are others. But I also understand that some people just want to know when and where. But I don't. It's not even. It's been 4 or 5 days, so I think it's fine. I did see someone else. They said, "Oh, I'm enjoying it. I just wish they would have done this 2 months ago." Noted. I think that's for a future takeaway. Figgy or anyone on the team, if you're listening in, again, this isn't me. I'm perfectly fine with the timing. I don't like, you could have did all this stuff in January and I'm still not booking my travel in June. I think I don't know, we could talk to Claude or ChatGPT. I think there's actual data that supports this. If you book too early, you actually overpay for stuff. I think that the sweet spot is like 3 to 4 weeks before travel is often like your cheapest flights. I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong there, but I don't think, and maybe it changes, right? If it's something that's crazily high in demand, maybe you do need to get ahead of it a little bit. But if it's some annual event, or like if you're trying to get an Airbnb at Coachella, you probably don't want to wait till 3 weeks before. But I think for most travel, most standard travel, I think the sweet spot is 3 to 4 weeks before the actual trip, because if they're not sold out, prices start coming down. Anyways, I digress. To each their own. And I think the feedback, though, is, while I don't care, there's very, very obviously, very clearly a portion of the club that wants to know when and where Ape Fest much earlier in the year. So I think have fun with it. Do it the way you're announcing it, just maybe a few months earlier, just to satisfy that, the ones that get anxiety as it starts getting. Because and I also am not. I want to be empathetic to the fact that I don't have. Hold on a second.
Well, I say we lost him.
Yeah,
He must have got distracted.
No, I got. You know what? Let me do this. Sorry, my daughter has just this consultation at an endodontist this morning, but she just called me. She powered through my thing. So let me come back to this. Let's go Joey and then Machiavelli, and oh, okay. They need x-rays. Can you get an email? So let's go Joey, Machiavelli, and I'll be right back. Joey, GM.
GM, buddy. You mentioned sleeping on couches. I was going to friendly remind you, I have a 5, 3, and 1-year-old. So if you do choose to sleep on my couch, you will get woken up early in the morning.
I'll get a hotel.
But you do wake up early anyway.
I was just joking. I'll get a hotel, but I appreciate the offer. And
no, I know you are. But I just wanted to remind you, of the two, Dort's house is probably much quieter than my house when it comes to. But you get up so early anyway. Like it probably wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I'll be the one waking up your kids. Yeah, I'll be the one waking up your kids. And to Dort's point, like this is what I was going to say, is I am empathetic to the fact that I don't need a travel visa. I don't have like a job I need to request time off for. So I get that. I'm a little spoiled in that regard, that I think it's going to be in the US. And even if it's not, I've got my passport. I don't need a travel visa. And we're fine there. But yeah, to Dort's point, like some do need to get travel visas. Some it's not as easy as it is for me, for everyone to travel as for me. So yeah, I fully understand it, and therefore that's why I'm saying have fun with this, Yuga. I love how you're doing it. Maybe just do it a few months earlier. That way everyone else is satisfied.
Yeah. Also, real quick before, I don't know if you saw the interview with your favorite sport now, soccer, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, where he said that they asked him specifically, does the USA have a chance to win the World Cup based on how they're playing? And he said unequivocally, yes. And I don't know the last time anybody ever said we had a chance to win anything in soccer.
Yeah, so
I mean, I don't know if you've been watching the games or not.
Oh,
or
yeah.
following along with
Oh yeah.
your
No,
with your
I've watched every US game. I've actually watched almost not every game because I like the ones that are just too late.
yeah, like the midnight game.
Yeah, I can't do that.
because they're
But
on the West
I'm
Coast,
watching
like
at least.
starting at like 9 o'clock at night on the West Coast.
Yeah, I can't do that. But I at least I'm watching at least 3 a day. And some days I will watch the late. I've even stayed up past my bedtime to watch the ones that start like 9 o'clock. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the World Cup. Like I'm all in. And if it wasn't for games starting at midnight, 11 p.m., I'd probably watch them all. But yeah, I think that. So I think they have a really good chance to make it to the quarterfinals because it's looking like a very favorable draw in the knockout stage. Now, entirely different story when they come up against France or Spain or Argentina, etc. Like but it looks like they may avoid like the monster matchups until they should make it to the Sweet 16, maybe the final 8. We're going back. We're going to refer to them as college basketball brackets here, but it is soccer too. Like this isn't like anything can happen. If a goalie stands on his head, like it's possible. It's possible to have a tie game and then they win in PKs. Like it is possible. They just like to win the thing. They're basically gonna have to play their best game ever, like 3-4 games in a row. And I know someone said that it was actually the former goalie, Tim Howard, said that that's impossible. That's not impossible. Like have a little bit of faith, buddy. Like it's extremely unlikely, but it is possible in a sport like soccer where it's not uncommon for games to be won 1-0, 2-0, where like one mistake could decide the game. And if you have a goalie that's standing on his head, defense play, and they have all momentum on their side. So Joe, I'm going to hand it back.
There is a history of the host nation like doing well when historically they haven't done well. Like there's something about playing in front of your own fans.
Yeah, I 100% agree. 100% agreed. Machiavelli, have you been watching the World Cup?
I have been watching the World Cup. The Bored Ape Yacht Club and the Claynosaurs are also in a other cup match with the fantasy league and stuff like that. And we are literally like neck and neck. I think Claynos right now have us by 12 points. But like had some of our players actually like rotated a couple, like did their switch outs and stuff like that, we would actually be ahead right now. So I've watched all the USA games. I watched the Canada games and the Mexico games. I'm really impressed with the USA team. I didn't know that we were this good, if we even are that good. Maybe it is because we're playing in front of our own, in the States. But it's been kind of nice to watch, to be honest with you. I really don't watch football like this on a regular basis, but these matches have been really great.
Yeah, I think it's two things. I think it definitely has something to do with playing in front of our own crowd. I think I can't say this, but I sent out a tweet. It didn't get much views. I got like 35 views or something, like 35 likes or something like that. But it was like, I motioned that, I'll see if I can go find it right now and I'll pin it up top. But I was like, I motioned that going forward, we essentially like lean into US sports lore, US sports. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the word I'm looking for. Traditions. And not in the US, it's mostly like college football. But like for a while I saw us like we were trying to like create our own chants, like that you see a lot in European soccer. And they weren't landing. And then we just started like it was in Seattle. First of all, I gotta go to a Seattle game. Seattle soccer game is now on my bucket list. Like they talk about the Seattle Seahawks, the 12th man. I think the acoustics in that football arena where the Sounders play might be the best in the country, might be the best on the planet. It seems so insanely loud. I definitely want to catch a game in Seattle because I think it is that definitely plays a role. But where I was going to go with this is before that Sounders game, they had like it was like college football game day outside the stadium, and they started playing like Seven Nations Army, and like I'm not gonna do it, but like, you know, the crowd just like that chant, like the songs. And so my post was, I motioned that from going forward, that the U.S. men's national team, they should come out of the tunnel to Enter Sandman. They should play Seven Nations Army pre-kickoff. They should play Country Roads to celebrate every win. That was awesome. Like the Country Roads after the win, and all the players, like it was just the whole stadium got into it, and obviously the players were feeling it. Like it just that
you
sort
could feel it at home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was like the vibe.
It was also like that song, John Denver's Country Road, was my dad or stepdad passed away a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I guess in October, and that was like the final, like the song they played as a we paid last respects at his funeral, at his, at the graveside. He was born in, grew up in West Virginia, and that was the song he had requested. And so, that obviously, I sent it to my mom. She's like, she's not following the World Cup. She's like, was there a West Virginia team player? So I'm like, no, it's the men's national team. And sent her a few clips. I watched the clip probably like 100 times collectively. But I think this sort of stuff is awesome. It definitely plays a part. And like, lean into that atmosphere, lean into, just get loud. Like, it doesn't need to be some chant, just get loud, lean into iconic sports music, sports rock songs, whatever it may be. And I sent this out again, it got 59 likes, 3,600 views. I'm just going to say this, like, they can't say they're pretty tight with the media. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. There's a chance this actually happens. In particular, the coming out of the tunnel to Enter Sandman. Someone that matters saw this and may have passed it along. Someone may or may not be working with the U.S. men's national team on this sort of stuff and happen to see my post. So if it happens, I may ask if I'm able to share the dots. But that might be my biggest accomplishment of the year if that actually happens. And if they come out of the tunnel to Enter Sandman, I'm going to lose it, because
the coffee with Captain Pump and the coffee with Captain Song Change, that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, if that happens, then the coffee with Captain Pump is 100% real.
So they can't really come out of the tunnel to Enter the Sandman, because the teams walk out side by side every game. So I don't know if they could like walk out to Enter the Sandman, but they could definitely, like, at some point, maybe pregame when they come out for warmups, but when they come out to start the game, the teams walk side by side together. So I don't think they would Enter the Sandman when they walk out together.
Good call. They may have to do an exception, or it had to be something other than coming out of the tunnel. But you get my point. The bigger point is just like lean into that sort of atmosphere, that sort of stuff. And sorry.
The
only other thing I was going to say, like, in addition to like the home field advantage and the home crowds, is I think the manager, I think the coach is manager, right? Is proper vernacular for soccer. No, you don't call him a coach, right? You call him a manager.
I thought it was the coach.
Whatever. The manager / coach he's really good. The guy that looks like Russell Crowe is really good. And
I thought that was Russell Crowe.
He is so he's Argentinian. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's from Argentina, and just seems to be really making some good moves. Even, with Pulisic out last game, bringing in the other striker, and then ended up having like instant results. They scored quickly. I think they're playing good. They're coached well. They've got the home court advantage. They got momentum on their side, and because they've already locked up their group, their final game in the group, they got a couple guys that have 2 yellow cards. And if you're not familiar, if you get 2 yellow cards, they have to sit out the next game. So anyone with 2 yellow cards in the group, and then in the knockout stage that resets. But they basically just want to make sure that they want to avoid someone that has 1 yellow card getting a 2nd yellow card in this meaningless game. Because whether they win, lose, or draw, they win the group, and they have the same seeding in the knockout stage. So they can sit the players who have yellow cards. They can sit Pulisic another game, let him get fully healthy, and in the draw, like, again, anything could happen, and they could upset one of these soccer superpowers, they also could get beat by Bosnia or someone that they look favorable against. It's just things are lining up well. And if I'll tell you this, if they do a deep run, you think things are loud now. You think tickets are expensive to get in. I saw that tickets for the first round game in Santa Clara is going to be day in the life is going to be, sorry, just working back and forth with my daughter. Like, I'm not gonna vent and go on the rant of the racket that dentistry is, but now I understand how my friends. I have a couple friends that are dentists, and one of my good friends, his wife's a dentist, and they've done extremely well for themselves. I now understand because we went to a dentist, got a second opinion at a different dentist, and then got referred out to an endodontist today. And she's at the endodontist by herself. This is just a consultation because, like, she has to get a root canal. We already know this, and 2 dentists confirmed this, and we had the root canal scheduled for Wednesday. And my daughter just has anxiety over this sort of stuff, ever like dental procedures. And so she asked, do you have laughing gas? And they said they could do laughing gas, or they can do the oral. I can't remember what it's called. It starts with an H. It's like a Xanax, but it's different. It's not Xanax. And she would prefer the oral medication. They're like, okay, and then the endodontist, even though they know what they're doing, they know the procedure, like, well, we have to schedule her for a consult. She has to come in and see the doctor before that day, so we can just basically confirm what you already know and give you the prescription. And then she's sitting there by herself, and they're raking her over the coals to get another set of X-rays to do this, to give her this prescription. It's just whatever. She's like, it's going to be another $630. I'm like, it's fine. It is what it is. She's going to have it between her braces and then these procedures and the piling on of X-rays and images. It's going to be like her mouth's going to be worth more than my car. Anyways, I digress. I'm not going to vent on that, but yeah, if I could run back my life, I might become a dentist. I couldn't deal with like surgery and all the gore, and I'd get nauseous, but I think I could handle being a dentist.
These people don't be taking care of their mouths, Cap. They don't be brushing their teeth. They be having the bad breath. I do not want to be a dentist.
Well, it's true. Yeah. I mean, my daughter takes care of her mouth. She brushes multiple times a day. She flosses every day. She's like, Dad, I don't understand it because I've never seen any of my friends floss. And she just has, I'm not going to blame her mother, but she has like double dip where it's like soft enamel, and then way too much details, too much information that no one really cares about. But her nerves are higher. The dentist's like, oh, she has really healthy nerves, and because she's younger, they're really high. And she's like, if this was you, it'd just be a cavity and we just fill it. But her nerves are like close to the top of her tooth, which is a healthy sign, but it doesn't. Because they're so high, a regular cavity wouldn't suffice. And I also didn't realize that those nerves in your teeth, they shrink with age. So like, if it was me, my nerves would have shrunk and wouldn't be as high. And anyways, I've learned more about dental procedures in the last week. And also why I was glad to spend some time with my daughter yesterday, because like the last 2 times and again this week, and then she got to after she gets root canal, she got to go back to the other dentist. It's like, I'm going to see my daughter like 7 times this month, and they're all going to be at a dental office. It's not like the most fun place to hang out. But anyways, I digress. Grateful that this sort of technology does exist, even though it's going to cost me. I need a W. That's it. I'm going to rip this Vibe Pack today. I need to get one of those Grant Young sketch cards so I can flip it and pay for my daughter's dental procedures. The other thing that's a racket is dental insurance, because they cap that stuff. A lot of them cap it at like $1,000 a year. So after you pay your premium, it's like you're not getting any benefit. Anyways, enough renting. No offense to anyone out there that's a dentist. I salute you, and yeah, what good career choice. That's all I'll say.
Go to Mexico to get your dental work done. That's where I go.
Back to soccer a little bit, so we can get to these pack rips. I see Sneaker Dad out there. More so, like, we're gonna do a pack rip. my like real aha moment shopping for vibes over the weekend. Like it was a real. Again, I'm gonna pause. I want to keep that as all one thought. So we'll finish up our World Cup conversation here, and then we'll talk into collectibles. One of the things that related to this World Cup conversation that hunting for these vibes got me to do is, I find them in Target. I know that I buy the vibes. I bought some Topps Chrome. I bought some Topps Chrome 2025-26 soccer. And then also some Bowman mega box of Bowman baseball cards. And then I go to Costco to get some groceries. And I see these. I don't know if you can see them. Let me pull them up. I see these plushies. And I'm like, oh, it was like, retails for like $35 or something like that. But they had a markdown to $20. I'm like, oh, I'll get Duke. I'll get Duke some plushies. They're not dog toys, but in my head, I'm like, oh, that $20, like $6-7 a plushie. Duke can join the World Cup fund. And then I see, because there was another box of baseball cards, and I put it into the closet and had it. Is this a good value? What's the chase items? Is this what are these? And since I did it, I went ahead. Oh, also check these. Is there any secondary market for these World Cup plushies from Costco? And it's like, oh yeah, the Eagle one is like they're going for about $95. The Eagle one's going for about $120, $130 on eBay. So I'm like, so instead of buying one, I bought two, and I can't give my dog a $120 plushie to rip up. So now I'm basically forcing myself to flip World Cup memorabilia because I stumbled across it, and I blame Luca, I blame Sneaker Dad, I blame the Pudgy team for, because the reality is, if you know me, I'm probably not going to flip them. I'm just going to end up with 6 World Cup plushies as a collectible that I'll never do anything with, and won't even let my dog have it because they're worth too much now. So yeah, I need to fire up the eBay accounts, dust it off, and list. What I'm telling myself I want to do, I'm going to list them both, and then whichever one sells first, I'll sell that one, and now I'm free rolling it. So now instead of buying Duke a $20 set of plushies, it's basically paid for, and I got a free set of plushies for my dog. That is the plan. But if there's betting odds on will I actually go through the friction of, because I have an eBay account, but it's old and it wasn't a power sell account, so I'll probably it's like the friction is creating a brand new eBay account, listing these things, and then when they sell, then I got to pick, pack, and somehow ship this big thing. Sounds awful. RWAs are far superior. Joey, go ahead and get back in here, and then we will get we'll wrap up this. We'll put a bow on the soccer conversation, then we'll get into ripping some packs.
Real quick on the dentist thing. So that about like 12 years ago, one of the things I did was I was a dental practice broker. So, guys that were older, like, late 50s, early 60s, getting ready to retire, trying to sell their dental offices to younger guys looking to have multiple locations. I was completely in awe of how much money dentists make. Like, if you have $1 million dental practice, which is not hard, there's a lot of $1 million dental practices, you're taking home as a dentist like $600,000+ a year. The margins are absurd. And fresh out of college as a dentist, if you just finish college and you go get a job working at a local dental office, and you're not an owner, you're probably going to make, depending on how much production you do, and that's based on how much time you're willing to put in. Fresh out of college, you're making like $250,000 a year as a dentist. The margins are crazy in the dental industry. But when you were talking about soccer chants, it got me starting to think our professional sports teams don't really have much outside of the Vikings. They do the Viking chant, and they bang on the drum. And then the Seahawks, they have their 12th man thing that they do. But most of our professional sports, the tomahawk chop for the Atlanta Braves, right?
Yep.
There's a few things, but collegiate sports in our country is what professional sports is in other countries. So when you go to
I wonder why that is.
I don't know, like when you go to the swamp, right? for
Yeah. I mean, I think of it
and
like
they start
college.
doing the chomp,
Yeah.
right? Like when you go to what's the one they play that country song? The college football stadium. Is it Clemson? No.
Is it the Hoagies? Is it Hoagies or no? Not Hoagies, but like
Hoagies. I think of
Hoagies?
Virginia Tech. I think of
No.
Enter the Sandman.
And there's well, I know like the Vineyard. You're talking about the Hokies, the Virginia
Hokies,
Tech
yeah.
Hokies.
Hokies.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's like a bunch of college football teams that have like traditions where they play a certain song and the whole stadium sings, or like again, like the University of Florida with the Chomp, right? Like the Seminoles where they also do the tomahawk chop, and the guy comes out and he throws the flaming spear in the middle of the field. But like I guess because college, I feel like there's more with college sports in America I feel like has a better alignment with professional sports in other countries because of there's more of a connection. Like they don't have in other countries. Like if you're like in England, for example, like if you're born in a certain part of England, like that is your team in like the English Premier League. Like you don't just all of a sudden go, well, I'm from Tottenham, but I'm going to be a Manchester United fan. Like it doesn't work like that. Like it's in your blood. And that's how I feel like college sports is for us. Like when you go to a college, that college is your blood. Where like professional sports, it's kind of like wherever you live. Like people are so transient in our country. It's like, oh, I grew up in Tennessee, so I should be a Tennessee Titans fan. But now I spent half my life in Atlanta, so actually I'm a Falcons fan. Where college sports is different. Like you spent 4 years of your life there, and like so I feel like that's more like we have a stronger connection to college sports, like the professional sports in other countries, than we do our professional sports, which is why I don't think we get as like fun and exciting as they do with their professional sports. But maybe I'm wrong. That's just my thesis.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's interesting because obviously professional sports are huge. It just doesn't feel like it has as much. It is different. It is very different. I feel like professional sports is just far more corporate than college is. College still has just a lot of like real culture and culture, lore, tradition. Andrew, go ahead and get back in here. Oh, by the way,
I saw
Virginia
someone
Tech.
tweet over the weekend that the Europeans were impressed with the stadiums in the States. And it's funny that may be true, to be honest, considering that some of the world's best stadiums are in the States. And then some of the world's best stadiums are actually college stadiums in the States. Obviously, we've known this, I think, collectively because we, grew up there or whatever. But the Europeans are just kind of finding that out. And it's nice for them to know that there's also a lot of like fandom accrual that happens in the US, obviously different sports, but there's still as diehard believers in their local state, local college, NFL professional team, whatever that exists, the same way that exists in Europe, right? Because obviously soccer, football is probably one of the most recognized sports in the world. It probably is in terms of people that play it and where it's played and all that stuff. But there's absolutely diehards in the States. I'm glad that they're finding that out through the means of the stadiums.
I saw I don't know if I sent it to you, Cap. I saw an Instagram post about like, the largest stadiums in the world, like capacity wise, and like the top 20 or something, like 15 of them are in the United States. And I think that's also because we also have more people, more space than other places, but like just the sheer size of our stadiums in comparison to like other.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but most international universities, I don't know. I'm assuming they have some sort of sports, but it's nothing like college football, right? Even if they have
No, they don't have international. A lot of the really good athletes international, they don't play college sports. They go straight into like developmental camps, right? Like so for soccer international, which is why you see the best US players, they don't play in the US. Like Kevin, what's his name? The young kid, Kevin Sullivan, like he went overseas because at 15 years old, he can play for the Barcelona under whatever.
20.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Like, so in international, they don't have the age requirements like we have of like, you have to go to college and right. And that's why you saw a lot of, when the NBA changed their rule about high school players going to the NBA, a lot of the better, not a lot, but some of the better high school players, they went to Europe to get paid, and then came back after they're 1 year removed from high school. And I think I don't know of any real college sports international. And Joe would probably know this better, and he's probably in the war room being like, Joey doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to soccer. But I'm pretty sure they don't have like collegiate soccer. If you're really good at soccer over there, you get sent to
that's
like
it.
developmental camps.
Even if they do have collegiate soccer, they don't have the best players, because the best players are already playing they're playing like Yamel is playing for Barcelona already. Like the best players in the world are already either in their developmental programs or they're playing for the major clubs. And so even if they have collegiate soccer, university soccer, it's not going to be the best players, not even in the world, but they're not going to be the best players in that age range. So it's like the people who aren't good enough. So, and then when you think about, well, what does that translate to in these large stadiums? It's because you have these massive universities, like, well, speak to Ohio State, there's 60,000 students who go to school there. And it's not just the 60,000 students who go to school there. You have millions of alumni that become fans of said university. And, a school like Ohio State, there'll be, so the stadium capacity is over 100,000 people in the stadium. And then on a football Saturday, an average football Saturday in the fall, there'll be 1 million people outside the stadium tailgating. So you've got 100,000 people inside, 1 million people outside the stadium just tailgating. And it's because you have such a large base of students there currently. And then, I don't know the exact number of alumni that are in Franklin County, the county that Columbus, Ohio is in, but it's just massive. And so it's just that fandom compounds. And that's why I think that so Briggs said there are college sports in Europe, but they don't function like massive multi-million-dollar athletic programs found in the US. Instead of using university as stepping stones to professional careers, Europe separates academies and academics, primarily relying on private local clubs for elite youth development. There you go. Yep. So we're spot on. Riggs and Joey agree this morning. Bookmark it, June 22nd, 2026. Again, Andrew, go ahead and get back in here.
Cap, when I was in Gainesville, to your point, for years, the Swamp is massive. I think it's one of the biggest stadiums in the world. There would be whole trail motorhome takeovers where all the people that are alumni that didn't have tickets to the games, they would come in every single weekend, and it'd be like a mobile city. They would all drive in their motorhomes, and they would all just tailgate, and they had satellites, and they were watching TV in the parking lot while the game was going on in the stadium. It's like big collegiate sports is an incredible spectacle. Like I was there when the basketball team went back to back, and then the football team had Tim Tebow, and they won the national championship, then didn't win, and then won.
Best ever team.
Yeah, like that. I've never experienced anything like the year the basketball team and the football team won the national championship. They're like one of the only schools, whatever, that have done that or something like that. I have never experienced anything like that before. Like I've experienced professional championships, but seeing that city when the basketball team and the football team won the national championship the same year, collegiate sports is incredible. I don't think there's anything professional in US that can top collegiate sport like championships.
I don't know if that was the best ever team. Maybe. I mean, it's an all-time great team. It was definitely the best ever team made for a 30 for 30. You've got Tim Tebow, who's like an evangelical Christian, and just seemingly all around, like genuinely an all-around good guy.
Cap, that entire team, by the way, like Urban Meyer coach, who had obviously his problems. You had the Pouncey twins. You had Hernandez.
Literal murderers, like literal
the backup, and he also got into trouble that year. Like that entire team, aside from Tim Tebow, was like an absolute menace on and off the field. And then Tim Tebow is this Bible reading, Bible thumper quarterback that took him to the big one and won the big one. But like that entire team, in my opinion, one of the best I think to ever do it. And I'm heavily biased because I am an LSU fan, despite being from fucking Toronto. When we won 2019 with the guys. Best ever team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, do you think the Gator team that Tim Tebow was the starter on was better than the Gator team where it was Chris Leak and Tim Tebow?
Point scoring, Joey. Point scoring. Didn't they have Percy Harvin too that year when they went with Tebow?
I don't remember. I'd have
and
to look.
Percy was like insane in college. Him and like Tavon Austin from like obviously WU's like the best I think ever to do it receiver wise in college.
So yeah, see, I thought the year where Tim Tebow was only coming in, like he was a freshman and he was just coming in for like goal line and short yardage. I thought that team was better because they had so many more weapons.
He was the
2 years later, but I could be wrong.
He was a freshman in 2006, and that team that was the team that actually beat Ohio State in the national championship. Then in 2007, I think he was a sophomore. He won the Heisman Trophy, won the Maxwell Award, Davey O'Brien Award. And then in 2008, they went 13-1 again, and they beat Oklahoma in the national championship. And in 2009, they went undefeated, but lost. Who did they lose to in 2009? Anyways, that team, whether like forget the specific years, not only it was very talented, but it also had literal murderers on the team. Like Aaron Hernandez murdered someone, and the majority of the rest of the team was also got in extreme legal trouble for doing things they shouldn't have been doing. But so yeah, all time. I'm just gonna ask best Florida Gator football team.
Cap, do you have the roster of that year of when Tebow won it all with like his QB? Do you have the roster?
So AI says that it comes down to 96 or that 08 team. That 08 team he won the championship.
Okay.
And 96 was like Danny Warfel. So I'm gonna go with 08 as the better one.
To quote Steve, in 96 they were playing against plumbers and garbage men.
It was basically here's someone else you might forget, because you were talking about when Tim Tebow was a backup. Here's another backup you probably forget about on that 08 team. Mr. Cam Newton was a backup to Tim Tebow.
And he got in trouble that year too. At school.
Wild, man. Yep. So yeah, that 08 team was Tim Tebow, Cam Newton at quarterback, had Percy Harvin, Chris Rainey, Riley Cooper, Aaron Hernandez. The offensive and defensive lines were crazy. They had the Pouncey brothers, Joe Hayden, who went on to star with the Browns.
Corner, that's right.
Yeah.
Cap, who else was DB? Who else did they have on DB when they were there?
Major Wright, Ahmed Black.
That team was absurd.
Brandon Spikes.
That team is very reminiscent of like the Miami Hurricanes team that had like Ed Reed and Ray Lewis and all those guys.
In all seriousness, if you want to go down the rabbit hole, if you're curious, I know there might be like 3 of you out there who are. Go watch that 30 for 30 on that team. Wait, it says they've never released a 30 for 30. They definitely did.
Cap, you're thinking of the college thing on Netflix where they dive into college teams.
Swamp Kings.
The Tebow team that we're mentioning is one of them. Who was the running back?
Yeah, it was the Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
It was the Netflix documentary. It wasn't the
it was called Swamp Kings.
30 for 30.
You're right. It wasn't a 30 for 30. It was a Untold Swamp Kings docuseries.
That's it.
Yep, it was on Netflix instead of ESPN's 30 for 30.
Was the running back Chris Rainey?
Yep.
Was it Chris Rainey that
Correct.
Okay. Did he ever go pro, Joey?
He did, but didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think he played for the Steelers.
He was like one of those guys where he was just built for college.
Yeah,
he was too small for the NFL. Like the guy from Oregon that was an incredible running back. He was an incredible college running back because it was so spread out, and then he went to the NFL, and but Rainey was like, I think was an Olympic 100-meter sprinter.
Payne coming in from the top ropes. 2019 LSU was the best team. Hard to debate that one. They're definitely on the short list. Then he says 2020 Bama next. And then he says, I don't even know why we're talking about this, but I'm just leaning into it. And we're talking about this because this is how ADD works when you start talking about World Cup soccer and soccer stadiums and then football stadiums and why American stadiums are the best. And it's because of the rich lore of these college football teams that have left such a lasting impression on our brains. I kid, but in all seriousness, let's do this. I am going to so I don't have to take a break when we go to pack ripping and the rest of the day's trending topics, news of the day. We may not even do a market update today. We'll see how the day gets us. I definitely get the pack rips, but let's do this. I'm going to go cheeses, take it whichever direction you'd like. And if you don't mind, if I'm not back, hand it off to Brain Pasta. But I will be able to hear you all. I'm going to mute my camera, go refill the coffee, and we'll be able to ride home the rest of the way. Jesus, GM, always a pleasure.
Yeah, GM. Now this is a lot of nostalgia getting popped up here. A lot of people dating themselves on the stage this morning. I love it. Bro, I'm a Tennessee Vols fan. So when you guys start talking about Tennessee,
just end the conversation there.
Hey, Machiavelli, you be quiet. And my most famous, I love the hit that Tim Tebow took. I think they were playing Kentucky. Remember when he got hit and knocked out? His arms were standing straight up in the air. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was probably one of the meanest hits I had ever seen. He got a concussion right on the field, and his arms were up like he scored a ref doing a touchdown. But it was funny yesterday. My daughter, it's Father's Day, and she's like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, 30 for 30. She's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "We're 30 for 30 today." And for the first 4 hours of the day, all we're doing, and I had to educate her on who O.J. Simpson was and the whole murder trial. So then she was making TikToks about if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. She loved that. Like, bro, it was a riot all day. So it's pretty good hearing some I wouldn't say old school football talk, but still Tim Tebow.
Jesus, who's your favorite quarterback college all time?
Man, Tim Tebow was good. I'm not gonna lie, but I think the guy was LARPing saying he was a virgin because his
no, for sure not.
Yeah.
Dude, for sure. Dude, have you not been to the Miami, Florida? Like, have you not been to Florida?
I'm not. Yeah, my favorite quarterbacks in college were the older guys that never made it to the NFL that were just incredible in college, like the Eric Crouches at Nebraska, and who's the guy before him at Nebraska? When they were running the option, and Nebraska was the most dominant program in the country. Oh man, I can't that. Those are the quarterbacks I used to love to watch when I was young. Were the option quarterbacks that for the year they only threw for 1,000 yards, but they ran for 2,000.
But the thing is, Joey, is a lot of those guys who couldn't succeed in the NFL, they weren't good enough quarterbacks to play in the NFL. But those dudes loved playing football, and they didn't give a shit. And that's what made watching football before college players were getting paid. And, you had big brand deals and coaches weren't even making, tens of millions of dollars. That's what made watching college football fun.
Before the glamour and all the iced out necklaces and all that stuff, I will say, I think Johnny Manziel from my era of football is.
Wait, what do you mean before? The Hurricanes started that. You say before.
Yeah, Joey, but it's not it wasn't diamonds though. It wasn't diamonds and grills and
cocaine and
it was obviously you guys had the chain for the U, but it wasn't
blow.
Yeah, it wasn't all that stuff. Today, Instagram posts and this, that, the third, it wasn't like that. It was good old football back then. Hard-nosed tackles. You could actually lay out somebody without getting flagged for it. All that stuff. Menzel, definitely my favorite QB. Hot take, if there was nil back when Menzel was there, he's at least 100 million, 200 million before he goes to the pros, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, especially after the Alabama game when he was just running and throwing around. He couldn't make a bad pass that game. That game at least gets him 75 million. At least. Imagine the ticket revenue he brought in that year.
Now he's fighting in some B League MMA shit.
Johnny Manziel is, you could almost say single-handedly responsible for Kyle Field. Speaking of large stadiums, they now play at a 102,000 person capacity stadium at Texas A&M. That doesn't happen without Johnny Manziel. Pre-NIL, so he wasn't able to get that money, but the university absolutely cashed in. It was a $500 million renovation.
If you guys remember too, that year, Cap's good point. Drake rolled out a song, I think that year, 2009, whatever it was. And Menzel, I think, was one of the first college players, if not the first, to be dropped in a song. He had superstardom at the age of what was he, 2019? Like insane. Absolutely insane. What a massive fumble, though. I also have another take. If you send him anywhere other than Cleveland, I think he's still playing, kind of. I think he makes it still. Like, I don't know if he wins the big one, but I think he goes to the playoff at least once or twice. Dude, even fucking Tebow went to the playoffs.
I don't know. I don't know about anywhere. I think he could have had maybe a better chance if it wasn't Cleveland, but I think it would have been like, it would have required optimal conditions. He would have had to take a coach that like somehow got to him. Like, it would have had to been almost perfect just because he just wasn't mature. He wasn't ready at the time.
Yeah, he was trying the first 2 years. Like, I think he was actually trying the first couple of years. And then they just kept losing. And he's like, honestly, F this. I'm going to go do nothing for the team that benefits them. Now it's going to be about me. And that's kind of what happened.
I wanted to say one thing.
Go for it.
I'm actually a former professional athlete. So if there's any questions that some of you want to ask, you can ask me, and hopefully I get you to where we need to be. Because I'm listening to people talk about football, and truly, I mean, I've been experiencing this shit because I've lived it. But if y'all really have questions, I would say ask me. Please do that.
Well, it's all good, my brother, but that don't mean that you're the authority. You know, this is we are the what do you call that? The armchair quarterback. So we just kind of, this is just a conversation, but definitely if you're an authority, that's good.
That's not what I have said.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
Like I said, I'm listening to people talk about something in which they have not done themselves. So,
right. But commentators all day.
It doesn't mean that I think that I am the authority. It just means that I can actually. It means that I can actually give substance. Stop that shit. Stop that
good
shit.
stuff.
Fair enough. I do want to get Brain Pasta in here. She's been super patient with the hand up, and then we will we'll get things back on point here. I appreciate everyone who's tuned in and joined us for our trip down nostalgic lane. I am going to give English NFTs a shout out. Says he went to Florida and the 01 Hurricanes were the best. They were loaded. Not only are they loaded with like future NFL Hall of Famers, they had like a swagger and an aura about them back then that was. It was all time. You know, if you look up aura in the dictionary, you probably see the U from the late 90s, early 2000s. But Brain Pasta, GM, appreciate your patience. What brought you up this morning?
What's up? Great morning, everybody. So it's kind of a curveball. I seen Vibes, and I have a question. If you guys know anybody at Vibes, could you put them in touch with me? I have a friend that wants to make some art.
So I see Sneaker Dad in the chat, and I think Sneaker Dad's been working with the team. Let me see if Sneaker Dad's still out in the audience. And then our guy Zane, friend of the show, he did some of the art concepting on the last set. But I mean, Spencer's the founder of Orange Cap Games. And he's pretty responsive here on X. Just his handle is just literally Spencer at Spencer SPENCER. You might have luck getting a response from him, but I'll see if I know Sneaker Dad was out there earlier. I'm not seeing right now, but yeah, team is pretty responsive, and I'm not sure exactly how they do their art, if they do any sort of crowdsourcing or community, or if it's all people on the team. I know, like I said, our guy Zane did some work with them. Yeah, so Sneaker Dad said, yeah, you can hit him up, no promises, but he is there. Looks like on the, I'm guessing X video feed, video chat. But yeah, Sneaker Dad's handle is just, I think it's just at Sneaker Dad.
Thanks, much love,
Hey,
Catherine.
Can I say one thing? I shared a picture of my playing football, and so if anyone was questioning like who I am, my integrity, y'all have the ability to step into the into the space. I have posted it.
Is that a I see like looks like 27. Were you is it wide receiver, running back, or are you a DB?
Yeah, I was a DB, cornerback.
Nice.
And I caught the ball with fucking two fingers. So yeah.
That looks like based on just the image. Was that like the Maurice Jones-Drew era? Did you play with Maurice Jones-Drew?
No.
Jeremy Mincy by chance?
Yeah, I know these people that you're talking about, yes, but
yeah, I haven't talked to Jeremy for a while, but we did I guess I wouldn't necessarily call us friends, but we were acquaintances. We did some work together.
But I just wanted to at least post the picture in order for y'all to understand that I'm just not chatting shit. I don't do that.
Yeah, all good, man. Appreciate you joining us today and sharing the takes from experience. Proof Alpha DJ, go ahead and get back in here.
I just want to say, you cannot mention option quarterbacks without talking about the quarterbacks out of Oklahoma. I'm sorry, bro. If you don't mention J.C. Watts and Jamel Holloway, if you don't mention the likes of Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, Sam Bradford, all these guys, when you talk option, then we got a problem.
Sam Bradford was not an option quarterback.
Well,
Sam Bradford was a spread offense, and just threw the ball all over it. Maybe Kyler was a scrambler, not an option quarterback. Baker was a scrambler. The real option quarterbacks were the Nebraska Cornhuskers back in the day when my brain's not working. When
why your brain is not working, I'll tell you. While J.C. Watts used to obliterate their defenses with the options, with the wishbone. Come on, man. What are you doing, Joey V? You're killing me here. I digress. Back to you, Cap.
Amazing. We're going way down history lane on the college football streets, all because of the World Cup. This is how Americanized we are. We talked for like 3 minutes about soccer and then spent 47 minutes talking about college football.
Tommy Frazier. That was the guy that took Nebraska 12-0.
Yeah, Tommy Frazier was nice. Touche, my boy.
Let's do this. I'm going to read the chat, and then we're going to hard pivot into vibes. I want to do these pack grips and still some other topics to get into today, including, we got Dwayne on it. So let's do this. We're going to go Dwayne. We're going to do because I think that'll be a shorter topic. We'll give our thesis, our takes on this riddle, and then we'll do some pack grips, and I'll talk about vibes, my aha moment over the weekend. But just catching up with the chat here, Han says, tournament soccer, very different than competition soccer. The vibe is more important. The teams are learning how to play as a team. And along the way, if you get the vibe right, you'll boost the performance significantly, and the teams can reach highs that are not normally possible. I think it probably goes both ways, right? You've got teams that are gelling well together, they're vibing well together, and others that might be incredibly talented, but just aren't clicking yet as a team. So I think that definitely holds weight there. B Epic says he's requesting some vibes packs to NFT holders. Tired of looking in these stores. And then he also adds Vince Young was pretty good in college. Manziel is a tool. Vince Young, I saw Vince Young beat Ohio State at Ohio State University. And I also ended up in the debating whether they tell this story or not. I think I've shared it on the show before, but we'll just say that around 3-4 in the morning, I might have ended up in an ER. And before I got to the adult ER, I may or may not have ended up at a children's hospital ER, to which laying on the hospital bed, the doctor said, we can't help you. We don't have any adult doctors here. I'm like, MFer, you're an adult. Help me. Not realizing that I was in a children's ER. May or may not have happened that night of Vince Young beating Ohio State.
Cap, tell the story.
That's it.
Tell the story. I'm so curious. I really am. I think community is too.
That's all the story we have time for today. But Vince Young, core memory. Vince Young beating Ohio State. Might have had might correlate a little bit to Manziel there. Anyways, back to the other topics at hand. Hard pivoting into Dwayne's thesis up top. I'm gonna pull it up, and then if you can maybe expand on your take here. So if you missed it last week on Thursday, the Board Ape Yacht Club account, they posted they've posted every morning at 10 a.m. starting on Thursday. They've posted like a riddle, a hint. We believe it is going to, it's leading to where Ape Fest is going to be, because Figgy had said, we're going to talk about meeting of apes soon, of apes in real life, meeting of apes getting together. So the leading speculation is that they're letting us know where Ape Fest is going to take place. They've included words like, or numbers like 1017. There's been a lot of just like cryptic stuff, and then the one yesterday was simply it was just the red background that had been the words and USA and that stuff had been on it previously. So Dwayne says, people upset about a blank Ape Fest clue today, but I think you're missing the point. Figgy and crew are saying, hey, quit focusing on the obvious, look at the background. I've got so many half-baked theories, I'll drop them below. So some zooms to start. Dwayne, GM, walk us through this. I know you think, you found a panda here in one of these images zoomed in. So stop thinking China. There's pandas at the San Diego Zoo, the Atlanta Zoo. You got several letters you've identified here, including what looks to be like Texas. Walk us through what is your leading theory? I think this one may hold the most weight, is the collectors collect. The S and the C stand out. So there's some speculation that could stand for South Carolina, which is where Beeple's studio is. But what do you think is, after you've dissected all these clues, you put your thesis together here, I did pin this up top. What do you think is the most likely outcome of?
I think with everything said and we've danced around everything, I still kind of think it's going to be Miami. I don't think we've found the right clues yet to tie it all together, but really it's the most logical. I think when we started here, we had the 1017, and obviously everyone jumped to a date, which makes perfect sense, but I'm not sure that's exactly how Figgy drew it up. I think 1017 may be the date, but I think there's something else to it as well. Then we go with USA, but it had an asterisk before it.
Mm-hmm.
And that means USA, but maybe something else. So you had the thought, I think, that maybe that means it's going to be several places in the U.S. Something it brought to me was, well, maybe it's not like the contiguous U.S.
Hawaii.
So Hawaii.
Puerto Rico. I heard someone say Puerto Rico, maybe.
Yeah. I looked into Puerto Rico, and there's really nothing big enough there, I think.
That's what Dort said as well.
Really tough to get to.
Yeah, I think you're right.
For that many people. So not sure on that one. The other one is, by the by the placement of the asterisks, if you consider that with the US, that would be like Alaska, that top left corner of the US, and there's no way we're all going to Juneau or something in October. Be a little cold at that time. So then you get the collectors collect, which, yeah, for sure, the S and the C stand out. It almost looks like there's something behind the S. If you really zoom in on it, maybe another letter or a number or something. But there's something in that collectors collect that is going to be a big hint at some point once we figure it out. But yeah, and then they went with the blank, and you could just kind of feel everyone on the timeline go, oh, there's nothing. They're not telling us anything, but I think that's the point. I think Figgy has played this perfectly. to come on at the clubhouse last week and say, look, we're gonna give you the information. It's gonna be super detailed, so you won't even have a single question. And then 5 minutes later they drop the first clue, and everyone thinks, okay, we got the date. I don't think so at all. Again, that may be the date, but that's not what 1017 necessarily means. So I just really love how he kicked it off, and now it's continuing. And I get that some people need the time to prepare, and they're really wanting to get things booked and visas and all of that. But it's definitely been fun, and I think you're probably right. Thursday of this week is when we'll know for sure. But until then, I'm going to keep putting out theories.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Yep. No, I think good takes, good theories. And I think you're right. I think, while I don't know, I don't think it was just a blank. I don't think they just punted yesterday and put a blank one. I think there's definitely some meaning there. We'll probably find out soon what exactly it meant. But I think that whether it was something hidden in the background or wanted to call attention to something, here's what I haven't seen yet. Mike posted this in the chat, and he reposted Mappo. Says, I'm going along with this. I don't know where Ape Fest will be, but I think 1017 ALYX is involved. Board Ape Yacht Club is a collab with Gucci, and 1017 is under their umbrella. Matthew Williams has his own luxury street stuff that would be amazing for merch, and they do live events. Figgy does live events too. Imagine NFC-linked merch, token-gated events, accessible with chips, belt buckles, watches, clothing, maybe even personalized stuff with your ape sewn on, red, white, and board, somewhere in the U.S., in broadcast on other side for those not in person. This is quote tweeting Mappo, who says, this is huge, an upcoming merch collab with 1017 ALYX9SM. Why the 1017 stamp? No coincidence here. That's the straight up signature of Matthew Williams' luxury streetwear label. That raw industrial vibe, the scratched up red background, and especially that tiny oval stamp. It looks exactly like a factory inspection tag, which is textbook ALYX aesthetic. The drop is going to be mental. I wasn't familiar with 1017 ALYX, but I do think we immediately quickly jumped into 1017's the date. It's in the US. I would not be surprised if those were pump fakes, if that was not exactly, if there was deeper meaning to it. I would not be surprised at all. And
yeah, I think that's a guarantee that there's deeper meaning to it. And I don't know anything about this ALYX whatever either. So I'll definitely take a look into that, see if we can pull anything from it.
Yeah, it's high-end luxury collections. I see they did a collaboration with Kith, Matthew Williams. They did Air Force One. I'm looking. I'll find some images here of the some. I don't know why it's not their website. The studio is not. I don't think I have a. Let's see. So here's this is just their Instagram page, their website. I can't get to work. I don't think I have my VPN on, but it's not let me go to their studio page. But this they've already collaborated with major brands. It makes sense if they are under the the Gucci umbrella. There's already an existing partnership there, and you talk about collectors collecting. Could be a collectible line of high-end luxury streetwear and apparel.
Is it based in Atlanta like the rest of the Gucci Mane stuff, or?
We'll find out. It is no, it's in New York, and
okay. Well, I don't think we're going to New York.
No, but I don't know. Like these could be completely unrelated if they haven't posted to IG in 2 years. Website is down. That's interesting.
Yeah, and even the Atlanta clues. I mean, it's a big one with Gucci Mane there, but I don't remember where I said it before, but I'm just not sure Atlanta is a destination that would bring a lot of interest from worldwide. I'm sure there's things around there that are fun to do. Sorry, proof of alpha degen. I know that's close to home.
Taking shots.
All seething right now.
yeah, for sure.
No,
But
actually, I was gonna say, Dwayne, it's an international city, bro. You can't on that basis, you cannot count it out because there's so many. Of course, the airport, Hartsfield, Atlanta, is known as the world's busiest airport, but it is an international. And then when you talk about that versus Miami, getting into in and out of Miami International is just it's a little bit different. Miami International is probably a little smaller, but the city, as far as the Olympics, don't forget it hosted the Olympics, and then the games that are here currently now is a big thing as well. So it can facilitate international venues. Just say that, and I'll stop right there.
Yeah, definitely it can facilitate international venues. Definitely has a massive airport, and I think Atlanta's in range. I think Miami is still probably where if I had to vote. I also, I do think, could this be some sort of tease towards a collab? It could be. I do think it is leading to Ape Fest. I think that the breadcrumbs have been dropped that this is, and there could be a merch collaboration at Ape Fest or with Ape Fest, but I would be surprised if we don't, after all these hints, if we don't get Win and Wear Ape Fest based on based on the timing and some of the other things that have been said in advance of this. Proof Alpha Degen, go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah, so we definitely are. I believe there's going to be a merch collaboration of some sort. So if you think of all the previous Ape Fest, we had merch to drop at those events, of course, like at Complex Con last year as well. But I like South Carolina because of Beeple and his thing. I want to get out there and get one of them dogs. But no, my heart is set on Miami. My heart is saying the obvious place should be Miami. I land a plane, like you say.
Yeah, I don't think. I do think we get another hint today at 10. I'm not sure if it's going to be. We're going to know all the details. I do think it'll be Thursday. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be soon. I wouldn't be surprised it ends up being Thursday. But I think the red. I think the red background. I think there's definitely something there. I don't think yesterday was a nothing burger. All that being said, I do want to get into vibes. I want to do this pack rip. I want to talk about my. There's a red. Vicky said there's a red phone booth speakeasy in Miami. Could be something there.
Yo, Captain, I looked up Collectors Collect on the internet, and on the 16th and 17th in Anaheim, California, there is a Collectors Collect like card convention or whatever that I saw on the internet too. I don't know.
There was also some collector. What was it? I think Dort found there was a collector retail store in Miami. I can't remember the name of it, but there was definitely a tie-in there as well. Before I get into the vibe story, I have a question. When I thought I saw these vibe packs at Target, my assumption was it was just the current season 3. And now I'm wondering, and it has to be because there's burbs in it. And I don't think Moonbirds were included before season 3. But then I saw
no. The season 3 is the Moonbirds and Pudgy cross collab for the vibe. Season 3, season 2 was the Littles, and then season 1 was all the bigs that they originally did.
Okay, so the one pictured here that says the packaging has Enter the Huddle, that was a different season, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I believe that was Vibe season 1, right?
Okay. Let me pull up my post because it was, when I say it was an aha. Actually, we got Vicky coming up, so I'll let Vicky get in here on any thesis or conspiracy takes, and then I will share my vibe collecting story and how it made me like Super Bowl-ish Pudgy Penguins. Vicky, go ahead. GM, always a pleasure to hear from you. Might have still been connecting. Vicky GM, welcome to the stage. Always. The Collectors Club is in the heart of Wynwood is actually ape owned, so could very well be something there. Good find, Dort. Vicky GM, what's your thoughts?
GM, yeah, I was having a poke around because obviously this whole permits business, they're building a club, and obviously apparently no one seems to know where this club is. And obviously anyone that knows anything in construction, you can't keep something a secret for long as you dig around. So I had a look round. Obviously, I don't think 1017 is the date. I definitely think 1017 is Gucci Mane as the headliner. So I think it will be in Miami. I also think that if you look at the images of Red Phone booth in Miami, it looks a carbon copy of some of the images we've seen for the clubhouse. It even has a cigar lounge. So I think that they've done a deal. My guess would be, and it will get rebranded. So that will make it an obvious choice to not have to wait and build something out. It's also in Wynwood as well. So my guess is that's where the colour red comes from, to do with the phone box. But again, we could all be wrong, and it could be in friggin' Australia.
Very, very interesting. I don't think it's Australia, but we could be wrong.
I want to hear from Bordeaux Soccer Cap because I really wanted it to be Japan. I'm just going to be honest. I really like Japan's on my bucket list. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that's what I want to meet Bordeaux Soccer. You know, I thought it would be perfect.
I think we'll get a Japan Ape Fest. I don't think it's going to be this year, but I too would be down for it. Proof Alpha DJ, go ahead and get back in here. And then
Yes, sir. Real quick, to Vicky's point about looking up the permits and what have you, touche all day, because I was thinking the same thing for real estate. So if you buying a building, real estate is all public. So, you can just go in there and put in those parameters, blah, 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 and you get it, wham, there's an address. Cut and dry. Thanks.
Looks like Grant Cardone's account might be compromised. Drew, I saw you pop up. Any other security PSAs we need to get out there to let everyone know to be careful about?
That was Gary's, not Grant's.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the brother. Sending some weird messages as a fake Zoom link, so just be aware of that. I was actually coming up for vibes, so I'll wait.
Okay.
Something cool to say about that.
Cool. Well, let's do it. Let's jump into vibes here. I've got a few takes. I saw Sneaker Jed joined us as well. Thank you for jumping up. And also shout out to our guy Money. Money pulled a Wrecked. I think it's like a common card, but I didn't realize Wrecked was also included in this set. Love to see it. And here was my experience. So I first went to I went to a couple Targets. This was I popped into one I guess it was Saturday, and I made this post for Target so hunting down vibes. And I asked, is there anything else worth getting here just so I can rip and feel something? I said for Target, but I did Riggs brought to my attention later, because then like minutes after this, they were on the shelf. So I said, well, oh my goodness, is someone at Target following? And they hung a few right after. Riggs said you could zoom in and see that these actually were there. There was just a different card on front of them. So I didn't see it initially. You couldn't see it in the initial picture. But long story short, they were there. So I'm like, cool. And during this time, I'm like stalling. I'm waiting to see, is there anything else I should buy? I was doing some research on some of the other packs. And while I'm standing there, true story, I'm not making this up, I'm not exaggerating, I see some other dad with with some vibes cards in his hands. Like, are you aware of these? Like, no, my kid just wanted them, and then he put it back on the shelf. And let me find the right picture here, because this kid was drawn to the Pudgy Penguins. Like, of all the stuff on shit. Let me one second, sorry. It was supposed to be just a simple consultation. It's going to cost me about $1,000. So I need to make a credit card payment. I'm going to do this from my other phone. Apologies. Let me finish this thought, and then I'll make the call from the other phone. I'm looking for this image that I posted, because this kid, I don't know, like 3-4 years old, of all the stuff on the wall was drawn to, like, kept pointing at it, like was not like he wasn't like having a meltdown, but was kind of having a meltdown over, like, really wanted the vibes, like really wanted Pudgy Penguins over everything else. Here it is. Here is the. I can text her a. I mean, my mind is blown that he was drawn to call for characters because it was a wall full of call for characters, and the one he kept going back to was the Pudgy Penguin. I had not experienced that before. I know they talk about proliferating the IP. I know they talk about, oh, the kids love the gifts, the kids love the cute penguins. I've heard a lot before. Witnessing it in real life, it, like Lucas says, oh, he wants his $20 toy to be better than a $20 toy next on the shelf next to him. Well, I saw in real life a real authentic. The dad has no tie to. He didn't know who Vibes were. Didn't know who Pudgy Penguins were. He's like, I'm gonna go home and research Vibes and Pudgy Penguins. The kid had never seen it before, and this entire wall of all Pokemon and all these other characters, the one thing he was instantly drawn through and kept coming back to was the cute Pudgy. So, I mean, if it was the only thing on the wall, sure, maybe it's not that big a deal. But every other TCG was on the wall, and the one thing he kept going back to and instantly was drawn to and kept going back to was the was Vibes, was Pudgy Penguin. So really like an eye-opener for me, a kind of an aha moment. And again, shout out Sneaker Dad and the entire team over there at Vibes, at Orange Cap Games. Really, it really was an aha experience. Sneaker Dad, appreciate you joining us. I'm going to hand it to you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to send a picture of a credit card to my daughter. That way she can take care of this unexpected dental bill this morning, and I'll be right back. But GM, thanks so much for joining us. Tell us take it any direction you'd like about Vibes, about this set. If people are hearing about Vibes for the first time, why is it different? Why is it better than the other TCGs next to it? Why might collectors want to care? What are the chase items or grails? We'll rip a pack here when I get back. But GM, thanks so much for joining us, and feel free to take it wherever you'd like.
Hey, GM, and apologies if I sound a little dead. My kids gave me the best gift for Father's Day of norovirus. So
ooh.
I'm like in the thick of it, but trying to get some work done. But yeah, so first and foremost, everybody that's like supported in some way, whether you've purchased or engaged, thank you so much. Like, it means the world to all of us, especially like I'm on the Orange Cap Games team, so everyone from our side is, and Pudgy, but like I don't want to speak for them, but you know, we're super excited about set 3, Bourbon Pengu. So a little bit about Vibes. You know, we talked with Pudgy a long time ago, probably like 2 years ago now, and you know, thought that the Pudgy Penguins IP was the perfect IP for a trading card game. And it was kind of when the trading cards were somewhat popping off. I know they're still popping off, but it was kind of like this this phase where NFTs were somewhat dying, but still not dying. I love NFTs, just to be clear. But it was somewhat of a low point for NFTs, but TCGs were still going, and it was like, okay, we have this really cool IP. It's really kid friendly, and our team at Orange Cap Games has a really good idea on what collectors want to collect, and also how to make a really, really, really good game. Shout out to our whole team, but obviously Spencer, who's the CEO and founder of the game and of Orange Cap. He's just quite honestly probably one of the most brilliant minds I've ever met, and he has a knack for trading cards. And so he made a game. And, Pudgy took a chance on us, and we made this game together. And so we are now on to Vibe Set 3. What really sets us apart, though, I think, from a lot of other games is the fact that, like, we are not trying to go after just the typical trading card game players. You'll notice that a lot of these games that you play, whether it's Magic or Flesh and Blood, even Lorcana to some degree, it's all about attacking people. It's all about fighting, negative like kind of connotations, and it's just not something that we felt parents really want to like instill in their kids' minds about like, hey, these are the kind of the thoughts and the kind of ideas that you should be like kind of promoting to little kids. So our whole idea was we wanted to make a game that was cute and fun, and was all about, just vibing, which is why we called it vibes. You don't win or lose. It's just a vibe check. You don't kill anything. It's icing your penguins or your characters now. It really is, the whole idea was like, we just want to have fun. And so I head up our business development and partnerships and a lot of other things, but like I spend a lot of time in person at different events, especially we've been going to tournaments at this event circuit called Star City Games for like the last 2 years now. And we have a 10K at every single event. So if you are in Vegas this weekend and want to check out Vibes, there is a 10K in Las Vegas. But, one thing I kept noticing was, kids and parents would come up and want to learn to play. They find it very cute. They'd want to play. And what's really cool about our game, besides the fact that it's really kid friendly, it's really easy to learn, but it also has the chops. So like if you have that itch to like really want to play a TCG that's tough and like thought provoking, it has depth to it. So it really kind of hit on a lot of levels that a lot of other games really couldn't do or hadn't approached. And that was kind of where we felt our secret sauce was kind of just, attacking it at all these different levels. And Cap, I know you said something, asked about the collectability. The cards are super collectible. I'm obviously biased, but I collect a lot myself, a lot of sports cards and Pokemon to some degree, but a lot of sports cards. And so you'll notice in some of our promo cards, there's like homages to different like sports cards or different events, but we really try to make the game collectible as well. And so you'll notice like a lot of people don't even play the game. They literally just collect the cards. But there are different rarities, and we changed the kind of the whole process throughout the last 3 sets. In our first set, there was, your base cards, your foil cards, and then these sketch cards, which were basically like non-serialized artist proofs, and there were 10 copies of them. We had one at Golden Auctions earlier this year, a PSA 9 go for over $12,000. Second set, which was Legend of the Littles, introduced little Pudgies. Basically we introduced an additional like kind of rarity or foiling treatment, which was called Arctic, which is like for sports people, like your cracked ice. This set, as we've so people have mentioned, we've introduced Moonbirds. Obviously, Orange Cap Games acquired Moonbirds last year, and we called it Vibes because we feel like there are a lot of different IPs. Obviously, the Pudgy Penguins is like the main staple, but we felt like there are other IPs that could fit well into the Vibes ecosystem. And so we introduced Moonbirds this time, and not, hence the name Bourbon Pengu. And so to make it cooler, we took away the Arctic foiling and replaced it with a burb and fish foiling. So any penguin has a fish foil, any Moonbird has a burb foil. And so those are like the tier below sketch. I've spoken a lot, so I don't want to just take up the whole stage or the whole time, but super excited. Target was obviously our first endeavor into big box stores, and it's been a really cool opportunity for us. And so, yeah, we just really appreciate everyone's like support in every way possible. It's just been a really surreal moment.
It's awesome, man. Well, congrats. You should be proud. And it's not just Target too. I saw some people scoring packs at Barnes & Noble. So it's Target and Barnes & Noble, or that's the two like national retail partners as far as distribution goes?
Yeah. Yes. You're getting early alpha here.
Ooh.
So please don't clip it. Please. But yeah, some people have been posting Barnes & Noble. Apparently that's the thing. We'll find out later today if like if we officially announce it or not. But if you're seeing it, there's probably some truth to it.
Very interesting. We pried Alpha out of Sneaker Dad, and he didn't say that. I said that just for the record. I also saw. So tell me about. I noticed that there's the Pingu card was separately wrapped in the box. Was in its own foil. What significance is that, if any, or what can you tell us about why that card was wrapped separately in the box?
Yeah. So, if anyone has seen, look, like we do a lot of stuff that's unique to us, but also if we see somebody else doing something really cool, we're gonna kind of take note. And if anyone remembers the Van Gogh Pikachu, it came in the same sort of cellophane wrapping, and we kind of just wanted it to be separate, just so that people knew it was a promo.
Got it.
A lot of our partners in the past we've done promos with as launch partners. This year we did not do any promos, or this set I should say, we did not do any promos other than this one that we did with these retailers. And so we kind of wanted to make it special and unique, and kind of like a moment in time where it's like, hey, like this is the first time Vibes and Pudgy are in massive retail for, mass retail for our TCG. And so we wanted to make sure that if if you wanted to open it, great. And if not, you can keep it in that cellophane. If you know anything about like the Pikachu Van Goghs, that's definitely like a thing. But don't hesitate to get it graded. 60% of our cards that get submitted to PSA graded Gem Mint 10, which is like the highest rating for any collection over any like sport, TCG, you name it. So they are high quality cards, but yeah, we wanted to kind of let people have two separate chases, right? Like the promo card as well as the pack.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, extremely well done. A couple things just to tug on the string a little bit, and we'll get Drew in here for his questions and thoughts. If anyone else has any questions for Sneaker Dad, feel free to drop those in the chat or join us on stage here. Also, shout out to Teacher Katie, one of our favorites, longtime friend of the show, but also just friend. Pulled some grails, pulled one of those sketch cards, pulled a 4 of 10 Junkyard Penguin. Big congrats, Katie. Awesome. Love to see it, and couldn't be a better person pulling some grails in the set. The other thing I noticed as well was, so I have like one of this Arctic ring. Is that one of the foils you're referencing? It's got the different little bit of, I don't know if you can see the video or not, a little bit of shine to it.
Does it have like a fish or a penguin foiling on it? Like, do you see it's kind of subtle, but if you move it side to side, it should have, if it's more than just a foil, it'll have like the fish. If for anyone's wondering what the fish looks like, if you flip your card over, there's like this circle. It looks like a fish.
Oh, it does have a fish. Yeah.
Yeah. So, those are our alt foilings that replace the Arctic.
Okay.
And one other thing I forgot to mention, those are our treatments for foilings. Rarities, there's 4 different rarities. There's common, which is white. And you'll see it's that middle thing. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be a moonbird. It might look like a cat's ears, but it's in the middle of the card.
Mm-hmm.
The white is common. The gray is uncommon. The yellow or gold is rare, and the red is epic.
Okay. What is an orange?
Promo.
So even though this one wasn't in the promo, it wasn't in the cellophane.
Wait.
Maybe it's yellow. Maybe it's red.
Let me look. Sorry, bear with me.
Oh, good. I see. I've got mostly whites, and there's 2 grays, and I only have one that it's like orange.
I'm assuming it's a rare, but I'm triple checking because I don't want to speak out. But it's definitely not a promo.
Yeah, it's orange or
No,
yellow.
it says Junkyard is a common. Oh no, that's sorry. What do you have?
This is a Bird's Night Out. It's just
that's a rare. That's a rare. Sorry, I was looking up Junkyard and I'm like, that's not either.
Nice.
I remember that's Teacher Katie.
Nice.
She's awesome.
And then I also pulled, in addition to that promo card, there was also this fish sickle in here. And I don't know if it's the same for all, but it says produces 1 fish, then goes away, does not count towards the Baron's win condition. And on the back of it, there's a QR code, vibes.game/redeem, unlock online rewards and learn to play. And there's a code, a redemption code. I think that's awesome. I love how you're pulling people online and getting them, through the funnel. I think that's underrated. And probably the one thing that really stood out that I wasn't aware of till you explained it was that it's not necessarily a fighting game. It's you're tapping into the popularity of TCG right now, but yet it's not, it's taking its own path. And I think a kid-friendly TCG game makes a lot of sense. As I mentioned, my experience was the IP popped off the shelf and a kid it was instantly drawn to it. So I think big win there. And you mentioned Spencer and his knowledge. I mean, the guy is very, very deep into the streets. He's got, if you've ever seen him do an interview, like on his, instead of like 8 Fest posters on his back wall, he's got like uncut first runs of different, I think like Magic the Gathering and some of the OG TCGs, like very, very deep in the streets, understands it very much. And I think that's certainly an edge. And then last but not least, like deciding to partner with Pudgy Penguins early on. I know his fund, they acquired a bunch of Pudgy Penguins and was deep in that ecosystem. But I really think that is, that partnership, not just with Pudgy, but also, as I showed, like the rec card and working with other crypto native, other Web3 native brands. I think you're amplifying the, that grassroots brand ambassadorship throughout this space at large, and from people rushing into Target to buy them out to talking about it online on the socials, like all this stuff matters. Like it's just from an execution standpoint, really well done. And I know not everyone has worked with national retailers before, but getting into Target, potentially other national retailers, it's a big deal. Like it's easier said than done. Sometimes it's not the most favorable terms. It's harder and to be able to get in there by just their third set in what is a really hot market. Like it's really competitive. You think about Magic the Gathering's been around for decades. Pokemon's been around for decades. Disney Lorcana, it's freaking Disney, right? It's like the while there is a lot of TCGs, I don't know, I didn't see necessarily any other startups on that wall at Target. Like it's mostly really brands that have been building for decades, really established brands. And I think all the credit in the world is deserved for not just the thought and that went into the set, the gameplay, the collectability, but securing that retail distribution this early. I think it's a big win, and you all should be proud. So congrats again. Let's go back to Sneaker Dad and then we'll bring Drew in here.
Yeah, there's 2 things I wanted to mention as well about this set and just our game and kind of our setup and why it's different. That I think is really cool as all of us are obviously here in this little Web3 kind of little, I don't want to say echo chamber, but we're in this like kind of like very, far off land. And but so there were 2 things that I think is really cool. One, so remember, everybody's NFT is their own IP, right? So we had to license everybody's NFTs to use in each of these sets. So why is that cool? Well, people get to talk about it. Now we've amplified and empowered people to talk about their own NFTs, talk about NFTs in general and the use case of them. Also that their own IP is on a card in a actual TCG, and that anybody can do that. Like you can apply, you can do it yourself. And like, these aren't just characters that we made up. We made lore around them, but each of those characters already have their own lore. And so I find that really cool as like a use case to tell people like about NFTs, about, hey, it's not just like, digital pictures on the blockchain that you buy and sell. Literally, we are taking that IP and putting it into a physical game and proliferating, as Luca likes to say, proliferating the IP and the brand, right? And so for that, I think it is so cool because now all these people are empowered to be like, hey, go check out this game. It has my own IP. It has my own like PFP, whatever, that thing you see me make stickers of, or my profile, or have like a painting in my office. Yeah, it's in a card game now. How cool is that? So that's one thing that I think is unique to us versus like any other game right now. Nobody else is doing that. And that's really empowering for like our community to then go out and like kind of spread the gospel. Then take it another layer deeper, this set I thought, and the team thought, what if we like introduce some really cool Web3 artists that have a huge following in Web3, and some of them have a huge following outside of Web3, and empowered them to now go, spread this whole gospel to all of their collectors. Like, not only are we tapping into the TCG and Vibes collectors, but now we're going to tap into these other collectors that just collect the art for the art. How cool is that? And so we were able to then bring in these 10 artists that are all awesome and super easy to work with to have their own cards. And we really tried to like limit it to just, hey, if you don't own the NFT, just make sure the traits of the NFT that you are like using, like, making the card for are included. Other than that, make it in your own style, do whatever you want. It's all good. And so it was really cool to see that. And one person in particular, Brian Brinkman, he actually owned his own Moonbird. So not only did he get to just like create a card, but he could customize his PFP because it was his. He didn't have to follow specific guidelines of, hey, it's got to have this, 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 and this. It's like, no. You do whatever you want. So Brian's big into pins. He's big into the colors. You'll notice on his versus some of the others, not to say the others aren't amazing, but his is a little bit more Brian Brinkman in a certain way. So I wanted to just shout that out because I feel like we are really trying to obviously be a collectibles brand just in general, not just a Web3 brand, not just a TCG, just a collectibles brand in general. But I think the subtle thing we're definitely doing is, activating and empowering our community members who, take part in the actual process in the game itself to be like, hey, like, go tell everybody about how awesome this is and why NFTs are cool. And this is kind of just like a byproduct of like what we're doing. And so, I just wanted to shout that out, us being in Web3, and like, what's the use case? Well, this is like, in my opinion, one of the biggest use cases out of everything we've done is like activating individual community members to use their IP in our game. And now it's printed on a card. It can be registered with PSA. It can be registered with CGC. It is everywhere now. It is permanent. It is not just on the blockchain. It is in the PSA registry. It is everywhere. So, I'll shut up. Drew is awesome. We work with Drew. We love Drew. I'll hand it off to you, Cap. But I just wanted to point that one little tidbit out because I think it's definitely overlooked, but something we should definitely remember. Like when we're telling people, like, well, what does NFTs have to do with this? Well, this is a prime example.
No, I love it. Really well done. I love the inclusion of the community. I love the tapping into Web3 artists. I've seen Grant Young talk about, I don't think anyone's pulled one of his sketch cards yet. He's been, he said, hey, screenshot it when you're, post it when you get one. I just got my pack ready. We're gonna pull a sketch card here in a few seconds. But Drew, go ahead, GM. Take it whichever direction you like. With a question, comments, thoughts, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I think something that's pretty cool is, I had a bunch of family members just go to Target and randomly, send me pictures of Vibes on the shelf, which is pretty cool. And, they just recognized it from, stuff being on my wall or anything. But, a lot of their parents were, kind of explaining to me, they're like, what is this? This is pretty cute. It's super cool. Obviously, my little cousins chose that, unbiasedly over Lorcana, which I think is pretty telling, especially with Toy Story coming out and being as popular as it is this weekend. But, I think it was really smart to, put Pudgy on the front because that's what drew them in. And then once they got home, they realized, oh, there's a game. The game kind of reminds a lot of people of like Webkins or Club Penguins. And then they start exploring like Burb. Because I think, and, no offense, right? Like, I think a lot of the younger folks would probably gravitate more towards, the Pudgy look than the Burb look per se. But, now they're curious and asking about that, right? So, I think there's a lot of noise on the timeline of like, oh, this is great. We're selling all this. But, what does the conversion actually look like? And I think it was, a pretty cool prime example there. And, TCG pre-Pokemon hype was super cool because you could see a bunch of kids rushing to, the store to get the latest and greatest. And now you see a bunch of 40-year-old dudes just trying to flip. And it was super cool to see just kids actually grabbing Vibes off the shelf. And, there's not a line of just 40-year-old flippers, don't hate the player, hate the game, but, just kind of taking it with kids being left for nothing.
100%. And again, you might think my experience or story was cheesy. I'd heard it before. It just didn't, like, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'm sure the kids think Pudgies are cute. They also think Tickle Me Elmo's cute or whatever. Seeing it stand out, and that's what immediately the kid was drawn to and kept going back to all the Disney characters of like world famous IP, and the one they really wanted was the penguin. I don't know, man. It made me. It's like, man, I need to be making some moves because that exactly what you described. Like it starts there. It starts like for longevity. Does there have to be a collectability nature? Yes. Does the game need to hold up? Yes. If it's going to attract the kids, if the cute penguin actually works and it's not just a bunch of 40-year-olds who are NFT nerds going and buying these things, thinking that others are going to want to buy them someday. Like, while that may be true as well, the fact that these really stand out to kids, it was like, I don't have the words to properly describe, like, the dad probably thought I was some weirdo. Like, I can only imagine what my face looked like when I saw his kid, and and then I'm like that creeper, like taking a picture of some other dad and his kid at Target buying packs. Like, and I did just like it. I'm like, trying to sneak a photo in so I don't look like some weirdo. But it was a real, like, a light bulb moment for me. Like, oh wow, they actually are proliferating this IP. Oh wow, kids actually do think the penguin is cute. Like, it wasn't hype. It wasn't made up. It was someone who had zero knowledge. It wasn't like, oh, their friends sent them in to go buy these things. It was like they had zero knowledge of Vibes, zero knowledge of Pudgy Penguin, and yet that was the one that he wanted. That was the one the dad's going to go home and research. Like, that is working. Here is I just opened up the second pack, so we'll go through it. I'm not a pack ripper, so to speak. So you have to tell me if I get anything good here. First one is a Mug Life with a burb. Then we got a Mystic Paintbrush. Also looks like just a common. Then we got a Sunday Afternoon. Just a common, but a cool looking card. Shout out to the art here and giving our guy Zane some love. Next is a Tony Burb. Another common. Then a Uncertain Burb. The art is really, really well done. Not just glazing Sneaker Dad and Zane because he's a friend, but yeah, really, next one's a Drama Burb. And I could see how the gameplay could be fun for kids because the art I think the art holds up on its own. We got an E = MC Burb. So the character creation, I think, is, and now we got so it goes an uncommon, I guess. What was the gray background sneaker, or the gray uncommon? So we got an uncommon Euphoric Leap. Still looking for that sketch card in here. We got an uncommon Professional Agreement. We got another uncommon Penguin Who Loves Goodbyes. I think, like we said, like, what does the gifts mean? I think now it's all starting to come together when people can see, they saw a GIF and then they rip a pack, like, oh, I've seen this thing somewhere else. I think it starts compounding. We got a rare here. It is a rare Penguin Who Explores the Jungle. Couple looking like Curious George type monkeys in there. Someone said we need to get apes in the next Vibe set. They're there. They're just not. They're not the Bored Ape Yacht Club apes. Vibe set 3 is a special one. I agree. We got another uncommon here. This is a foil Impressionist Penguin.
Nice.
And uncommon with a little bit of so there's the uncommon based on the color below, and then you're saying, like, the foil, I should see like a fish or
No, so okay. So the way it works is every pack is kind of structured similarly. So you have your commons and your uncommons, and then the last two cards of a pack, your second to last card is always going to be a rare or epic, and then the last card is going to be a foil, any rarity.
Gotcha.
It doesn't. And then if you have one of those Arctic foilings, right? The alt foiling, so your burb or fish foilings, they'll actually, your third to last, it'll kind of push the rare epic card one before, so it'll now be the third card. That epic or that fish or burb foiling will be the second to last card, and then a foil will be your last card. And so the foils are of any rarity, but you always are guaranteed at least one epic or rare card, non-foil.
So I got an uncommon foil. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it. No sketch card, but we'll take the uncommon foil of the Impressionist Penguin.
For $6, look, this is not financial advice, and I'm just saying, to get a promo card plus a pack for what you have to pay, I think it's pretty cool. And like, some people are going and selling their promos, and I'm not telling you should or you shouldn't. What I will say though is, like, this is obviously like there's lore behind promo cards in general. Some are collected because they're rare or there's very limited supply, and some are corrected because of the lore behind them. And I think, like, this being the first time that the TCG is in a big box mass retailer, there's something special to that. Obviously, if you want to go sell it and go rip some more packs, I'm not going to stop you. But I do think that these cards are really cool and have a special moment in time. So if like, you know, if you do get one and you're not, you know, strapped for cash, I definitely think it's worth holding on to, just for the, you know, just the story behind it, and you know, kind of the, you know, explaining, you know, how Web3 really infiltrated big box retail, and you know, kind of the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, man. It's I mean, I'm gonna hold on to mine. I have no I mean, maybe someday we sell, but as of now, it's I'm here for the journey. I'm here for the ride. I'm you know, I love supporting other Web3 native, crypto native brands, and this is one where it's like, from a support standpoint, supporting multiples multiples at the same time, from Orange Cap Games to Penguins, to, you know, Pudgy Penguins, to Moonbirds, to Burbs, you know, Wrecked, the you know, the Brian Brinkmans, the Grant Youngs, like my friend Zane. Like, this is just really again, execution is top notch, really well done. And then you add on the and hey, was Vibe Set 1 more of a collectible? You know, maybe, probably it's the first one, but taking this leap into national retail like this is a really big move. And again, from my experience, like, that will stick, that will last. When I saw the kids so drawn to it, not to keep going back to it, but it really was a big light bulb moment for me, and it got me just rethinking. Like, actually, not that I doubted it, but I just, like, building IP that stands the test of time is extremely hard. It's very challenging. You're competing with billion-dollar enterprises, and so it's always, like, just keeping it real, it's always been kind of like, yeah, like, I get it, but to really hit escape velocity, to really get on the level of a, you know, a top 5 TCG, it's I don't want to say it's a pipe dream, but it is audacious goals. It is a massive goal. This, I think, is a big step in that direction, getting into Target, getting into potentially some of these other national retailers, and then not just getting in there, but winning. See people attracted to it. See people buying it that aren't just crypto natives, that aren't just collectors of Pudgy Penguins or Moonbirds, but seen other random people, random kids, adults, and everything in between, being drawn to the pack. And the different, there's, again, first time hearing that different gameplay, that it's not so much like a fighting game like most of the other TCGs are. Great strategic approach. Like, have a differentiating factor. It's not just the cute penguin and cute burbs, but different style of gameplay that's maybe a little more kid friendly. Am I going to play the TCG? First I always said absolutely not last week. Now I'm like, I don't know, maybe I've got a couple packs, maybe I go collect a couple more. And the other thing, as I mentioned, the online redemption, I'm understanding, like, it's a free pack of, with that redemption, I get not just a card, but it's like another pack of Vibes online, right? I don't have the physical counterpart, but it's getting me more cards to play Vibes online. Is that right, Sneaker Dad?
Yeah, so you get more packs. What's really also cool is the game is completely free. So even if you didn't get packs, you could start playing for free online. You also, though, you know, we've just actually made a massive, like, overhaul, and so now we have, like, other games have, like, a battle pass on there if you wanted to do that, to, like, accrue other, you know, more packs, more of our, like, you know, gold, which is like our ecosystem kind of coin. And, you know, it's all crypto. You can on ramp with crypto. Quick little plug for Brave and the BAT token. But if you do want to spend some money on our digital game, you get a 20% discount if you use the BAT token, to acquire, like, the gems. So yeah, what's really cool, though, is, like, really quickly, it is really easy for kids to learn, but we have a lot of, like, competitive TCG players from Magic, Flesh and Blood, Lorcana, that are just really just kind of, like, just very I won't say they're over the other games, but there's fatigue. And we took a lot of the really cool stuff from a lot of these games and made it our own. And so the whole, you know, you have, like, this quote unquote, like, magic brain of, like, everything must go like this because this is magic and blah blah blah. And we kind of just flipped it on its head, and it required them to kind of think differently, but in a good way. And so while the thing I like to say is it's really easy for anybody to be good, but it's really hard to be, like, to take it to that next level. And because it does require a lot of, like, chops understanding game mechanics and all those things. So like it is fun for everybody, which is awesome. You know, a lot of like partners of TCG players come and play and are like, yes, I'm going to beat my boyfriend or my husband or my girlfriend, my partner, whatever. That's really cool to see. And kids can easily learn it. I'd say like if you're really smart, probably younger, but if you're at least 8 years old, you're probably able to pick this game up after some few repetitions and playing the game online. So it really does have like this wide range of like who can play. And yeah, the game is completely free to play online. So like go check it out, vibes.game. You can download it directly or through Epic Games. We just did a huge overhaul, so it looks really sick right now. And yeah, I encourage everybody just to go give it a shot.
I will as well. Thank you again so much for jumping up today. Appreciate you sharing. I learned a lot more than I even thought about the collection. I got, as I shared my experience multiple times, I got instantly bullish, not just on vibes, but it brought new hope back into crypto native IP, back into NFT IP. And in this, while should every collection go out and build a TCG game? No, but this is part of a playbook. This is how you do it. Like again, the execution here, collaborating with other collections, having a deep understanding of whatever you're building, whether it's a TCG or an anime or an animated series, like having experts in that field, that is a big edge. And yeah, I'm really excited for y'all. You should be proud. I'm also proud of everyone hanging out and sticking through this because X is down. There's outages right now. I can't get X to refresh. I don't know how we held on for spaces, but I was trying to pull up. I had the Pudgy Penguin account just shared they got a Pudgy that is in a Target uniform, and I was trying to pull it up on screen and I can't. Like X is completely down. I went and searched. Yeah, Twitter is down at the moment, but yet we've got some sort of magical powers of vibes that we're powering through this morning, and it's not rugged the spaces. It's rugged some people who lost this and they can't get back in, but we stay live at least for somehow. I don't know. Again, I don't know how it's working, but we're here despite the X outages. So thank you all to everyone who hung out with us or battled back and found your way back here after you got rugged. But my apologies on behalf of X. Teacher Katie added that fun fact, that afternoon penguin card is a poster on the Dilly site that was a giveaway with purchase. Pretty cool. Again, another example of working with, partnering with, collaborating with others in the space. Dilly, be it a platform that is leaning into collectibles and TCGs and just again, I have no notes. I have no notes on. I actually do have a note. Just to be fair, to be critical, the cardboard box, fine. I did see some people say they were surprised there wasn't anything on the back. I don't care. I think clean. It's fine as is. Just some comments. I saw some people that were surprised there was no not anything on the back of the package itself. But I think this is really well done. Like it's clean, it's simple, and especially because I saw it work in retail, it jumps off the Target wall when it's next to other, not knocking Disney Lorcana, but it's just busy. Their packaging was busy, and you kind of get lost. Like it doesn't highlight the main character like Vibes highlights the main Pingu character here. So I think the packaging is really well done. I will say the actual pack itself was hard for me to. I couldn't open it. I had to get scissors. It was hard. It was hard to open. That's the only critical feedback I have, or constructive feedback I have is the pack itself was challenging for me to open. Maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to ripping packs, but it was hard to rip the pack. I had to cut the top off with scissors to get into my pack. But other than that, I have no notes. Extremely well executed, extremely well done, and I'm rooting for it. I'm gonna actually, I was originally just gonna go buy, Target limits you to two of any TCG or card per purchase, but I think I'm going to I'm gonna go back for more. I think I'm gonna go back for more, some more rips, and I would like to get one of those sketch cards. If I get a sketch card, I'm gonna send it off to PSA, get it graded, and yeah, I'm here to support. I wanted to give the coverage and amplify what you are building. I wanted to support Vibes and my guy Zane with. That's at least the excuse I used when I told my girlfriend I was going to Target to buy some cards. Like, oh, one of my friends worked on the art concept in here, so I want to go support him and buy a couple packs. And I come back with some Vibes packs, some soccer box, a baseball Bowman mega box, and the freaking World Cup plushie collectibles. The glimpse I gave her into my degeneracy. I don't know if I made a mistake there or not, but Such is life. She now knows. All that said, enjoyed the conversation this morning. Drew, I saw your hand up. Did you want to get in here? One other thought?
Oh, I was just gonna say everything's down because AWS is down. We're the anomaly here. I don't know how we're still up.
Is this, do you think, just random, or is maybe something Mythos related?
I don't know. Monday morning, it's affecting everything, so it's all everything relying on AWS.
Well, shout out to our version, or our server, our version of X Spaces. Shout out to our Abstract, and I think even our YouTube is still live. So somehow we managed to hit for the cycle this morning with everything else going down. Yeah, it's not your computer be epic. It is per Drew, AWS is down, which is going to pull half the internet down with it. But we'll be back, barring no internet outages. We'll be back tomorrow, as always, every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time here on Coffee. I will, I think I pinned it up top. If it'll let me, I will repin the link for tomorrow's show. If you haven't yet, because we never know how finicky X is going to be. Go smash that reminder. Yeah, I tried to pin it, but I don't think it's going to pop up. It gave me an error. Oh, no, it did. It popped up. It gave me an error, and it still popped up top. So the reminder link for tomorrow's show is pinned up top all the way to the left. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and every weekday for that matter. But yeah, go smash that reminder as I play us out, because we never know what. Ooh, we have a new. I'll leave you with this. Ooh, we can have some more speculation. I'll try to pull it up on X. I don't think it's going to work, but we did get our 10 a.m. Shout out to Dort, who I think might have pulled it from Instagram. Looks like. I'm seeing if it's going to load. It's thinking about it. I'm getting this. No, it's not loading. Let me see if I can find it on Instagram. We got a new note. We got a new hint, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, Machiavelli, or not, but we do have a new riddle, new piece of the riddle.
Give me 1 second.
I got it pulled up. I'm going to share it here. I had to go to Instagram. So Instagram apparently not powered by AWS like as is X, or they have some sort of redundancy. So here's the one. It started out with 1017 in a circle. Then we got USA with the asterisks. And then we got Collectors Collect with the emphasization on the S and the C in Collectors Collect. And then we got just the seemingly blank red background, but I think it was very much so with intent. And then today, 10 o'clock drop says 2325. What does it mean? Part of the address?
2325?
Not a date. So
the 23rd or the 25th?
Could be. I don't think so. I don't think this is date related. I mean, maybe it would be the 23rd through 25th. That's possible. 2325 minus 1017 equals 1308.
I think we're on to something, Cap.
2325. Opportunist says they figured it out. What does it mean? Could be part of the address. That Ethera Art says part of the address. That's possible. Could be an address. I don't think it's not a zip code. It's not an area code. 2325 related to collectibles. The number 2325 in the collectibles world most prominently refers to Funko Pop. One Piece Brook Ghost 2325, the highly sought after spectral variant of the One Piece musician, released as exclusive by Chalice Collectibles. Chalice Collectibles is often available as a sought after glow in the dark chase variant. 2325 could also refer to vintage unmounted mint postage stamps. If they drop a Bored Ape Yacht Club postage stamp, I might be out. I might floor it. I'm kidding. But yeah,
Funko Pop is in LA. The Funko store where you can get a custom Funko made and stuff. It's like in Hollywood. I know that.
This was the this is the glow in the dark Funko Pop was the 2325 6 pop guaranteed chase bundle available from Chalice Collectibles. Apparently, again, I'm not in the Funko Pop collecting world. I'm just sharing what Google's telling me here. But that is when I asked it what 2325 related to collectibles, that's what it came up with. It's probably not that, but yeah, if anyone else has any other theories, let us know, or do your research today and bring your theories tomorrow. We will we'll most likely get another tease, another hint at 10 a.m. And they haven't said this. I'm just speculating that we get a riddle piece every morning at 10 a.m. And I think this coming for a week, and then this next Thursday, this week's Thursday, when they do at the clubhouse again, I think that's when we'll get the full details on when, what, and where. But I still believe it's all somehow tied to, it's all hints for when and where Ape Fest and some details around it. But we'll probably find out soon. So good luck riddle solving out there today. Good luck ripping vibes packs. And Mario, I don't know if you can answer this question or not. Mario asked, does revenue flow back to the collection? I don't believe so. That would be my guess. Orange Cap Games certainly separate from Pudgy Penguins. Orange Cap Games does own Moonbird, so maybe there's some tie in there, but I don't think there's any tie into revenue flowing back into the collection in any way, shape, or form. But that's just my assumption. And
we just pay people like a licensing fee for their IP.
Got it. Very cool. Well, I love the inclusion of, from anywhere from the artists who are helping collaborate to those helping with the collection like Zane, to holders that have that you're licensing their IP for. I love to see it, and that's, to me, one of the things that I think it makes Web3 different, right? It's one thing to have the brand ambassadors, the fans, but when you feel like a deeper connection to not just the collection or the asset you're holding, but deeper connection to the asset you're holding. Now the gift can take on a different meaning. You're out there, you're talking to someone, and they share a gift. You're like, oh yeah, look, I have that. That's my asset. And oh, by the way, I also have a collectible card. It's just this stuff compounds, I believe, and it may take decades for it to really be meaningful or impactful from a collectability valuation standpoint. But I think this is you're increasing the chances, you're increasing the likelihood of Vibe still being in that conversation a decade from now, breaking into the top 10, the top 5 TCG in the TCG world. And from a execution standpoint for a startup, insanely impressive. So again, my congratulations to you, Sneaker Dad, and the rest of the team. Please pass that along. I truly am impressed. And also, we've had Spencer on the show before, but I think mostly we've talked we hit him on once to talk about Orange Cap Games when it was more in the Orange Cap Capital, I think is what we talked about. And then obviously we had him right on after he acquired the Moonbirds collection. But I don't know if we've had him on, and we intermixed in there we did talk about Vibes. We talked about his background as a collector and a TCG fan. But I don't think we haven't had a specific Spencer conversation or interview specifically related to Vibes. So next time you talk to him, just let him know, and I'll send him a DM as well. But just open invite if he ever wants to come on and do a deep dive, whether it's now or in advance of the next set or anytime in between. Open invite. Would love to have him back on and do deeper conversation specifically as it relates to Vibes. But Katie flexing her card from set 2. Yeah, it's just really cool. Now, hey, if Katie doesn't have a card in set 2, does she go out and hunt down Vibes packs for set 3? Maybe not. But I think it increased the likelihood that she became a lifelong fan because of the inclusion of one of her littles in set 2. It's again executed extremely, extremely well. I'm impressed, and not only does it make me bullish on the Pudgy Penguin IP, or the Burbs and what they're building, it gives me a even more renewed hope for crypto native IP, for Web3 IP, and appreciate y'all showing a potential roadmap. Whether someone's building a TCG, an anime, a comic, or anything else, how you're doing it is to me, it's as impressive or more impressive than what you're specifically building, and I'd love to see it. So thanks again. Appreciate everyone tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. In the meantime, good luck solving the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Ape Fest riddles. Good luck ripping your Vibes pack, and go. I know we had one comment for the Austria-Argentina game. That's probably the game I'm most looking forward to today. Also looking forward to France and my guy Holland for Norway. I think they've got maybe a tougher matchup than the other two. So we got an epic lineup for World Cup group stage today. We'll hit on that a little bit in the cold open tomorrow, but I promise we're not going to go on a 60-minute conversation about college football stadiums. We got that out of our system today. But in all seriousness, thank you all today. Appreciate you tuning in. Good luck getting AWS turned back on and spending your rest of your day on the internet. And until then, we will hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks all.